canes over here. We got some canes over here. There go some canes over
Relax
here.
and take notes while I step in, ain't no question. I've been reppin', see my squad ballin', that's a blessing. I'm texting with my homies from that West End Zone crew. Say they taking shots, told me roll through. I told you about that orange and green. We click tight, big bites, we destroy your team. Make the world view our games like a horror scene. Stuff opponents in a can like Goya beans. I mean, representing for the team, let us hit it up. You can't get connected with us, check your signal. Infamous with that swag, it's original. The copycats could copy that, but we go get some more. No gay, no Seminole. We let it stay, but in this state we is the general. Coral Gables around the world, we don't have a limit. We rep that youth from the streets to the academics. It's some canes over here. It's some canes over here. It's some canes over here, throwing U's up. How we do our thing over here. It's some canes over here. It's some canes over here. It's some canes over here, throwing U's up. How we do our thing over here.
Ooh, we do please is the hurricanes. You ain't got that work, you can't serve the canes. I know you been watching, we been hurting things. Where that crown at, homie, we them dirty canes. We gon' get that title, what that purdy ring. Gotta turn over chain for every team. Green and orange on my back, yeah, the foreigners back. I'm scoring while you roaring like a lion getting sacked. ¿Qué pasó, papi? Tú no puedes conmigo. Argentino de principio, huracán en mi equipo. Got the passion like Sebastian when I'm rapping, that's a fact. Got that 7-6 jersey for the legend, one sack, yeah.
It's some canes over here. It's some canes over here. It's some canes over here, throwing U's up. How we do our thing over here. It's some canes over here. It's some canes over here. It's some canes over here, throwing U's up. How we do our thing over here.
We got some canes over here and we bout that. Solo D and them ballin' boys, yo, we got that. No good chillin' in the cut, hard rock pack. And if you hatin' on them canes, better stack. It's the state of the MIA. The U is back, what them haters gotta say. Them hurricanes, we be ballin' all day. Turn over chain, got the people going crazy.
Yo, whoop whoop, it's the sign, so you know who it is. They counting finals ballin' like the U up in here. Gold teeth, grillin', chillin', Solo D, what it is. We got the turn up chain, gang up in here. Cause it's a UM thing, orange and green is the gear. We coming to you HD, so it's crystal clear. Now put them U's in the sky, don't stand and chill. And let them know if they don't know we got some canes up in here.
It's some canes over here. It's some canes over here. It's some canes over here, throwing U's up. How we do our thing over here. It's some canes over here. It's some canes over here. It's some canes over here, throwing U's up. How we do our thing over here.
Canes, we be ballin' all day. Canes, we be ballin' all day. Canes, we be ballin' all day. Them hurricanes, we be ballin' all day.
Who that?
So low, so low, so low, G. So low, so low, so low, G.
Yeah, we about to go live.
You ain't slow down.
Act like you got them skate. 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 Go live, I'm finna go live. 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 Go live, I'm finna go live.
What's up? What's up? What's up, Kane family? We back in the building, man. Hey, man, look. I'm excited, bro. I got to tell you, I'm excited, man. It's like a Floyd Mayweather deal. But before I start talking, let me know everything looks good, sounds good. I see my girl, Haitian Ellen, in the building. First lady through the smoke. I know she's going to give me the first thumbs up. It is. Told you. Bingo. I can count on her like, hey, I call it a calculator because I can count on her. She always here, man. But anyway, real quick, like I said, everything looks good, sounds good. We got 51 in the chat right now. That's awesome. So go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, as well as real quick, man, my co-host who ain't here right now. You know, he probably on daddy duties around here. Also, Mr. Balin Trujillo, the usual suspects. They'll be in just a moment. But somebody says 12:45. I'm going to explain that in a second. But anyhow, I want to give a big shout out again to Solo D for allowing us to use that music, man. I think we're going to have some good things coming up. We're going to get into some talks here, as well as to my sponsor for the day is Mr. Alex Tabia from Certified Home Loans. Always answers the phone when it comes to home deals. You know, I do some real estate stuff as well. So, you know, he my cut man. He do everything I need to do on the back end when it comes to financing, those type of things, whether it's my first hometown buyer, if you VA loan, FHA loans, anything you got to do in regards to home financing, check him out. His information is in the description, as well as you'll see his sponsorship tag here in a second. Check it out in the description. His phone number is 305-205-1697. Hit him up. Make sure you holler at him. Anyway, also, I like this right here, man. This is what I got to see tonight. Coach me, coach. Hashtag coach me, coach. We definitely got to see that tonight. You guys been banging up the doggone chat already, but I want to say something. I saw something that was funny. Here we go. Where do I see it? Come on, T Gray. Come on, T Gray. Come on, T Gray. Cut it out, man. Hold up. Just for you, T Gray. That's for you, my man. But anyway, real quick, I just saw something talking about he was waiting since 12:45. I'm trying to find out so you can explain that. No, I just saw the doggone thing. But anyway, all right, I got my man V12 in the background. Here we go. So Derek Alpha said, "Dang, I've been waiting since 12:45." So what happens is I put out both the pre and the post game thing. So if you read it, it says post game. It said 12:45. I know it was late last night when I did it. I did put PM in my mind. I'm thinking at night, Coach blew it, and I got a notification at 12:42 saying I'm going live in 3 minutes, and I'm like, huh? So I looked at it, I'm like, dang. So I had heard it been changed. So on the post game, we go live immediately after, but I have to give it some time. So just so you guys know, when you see that time for post game shows, that is not the right time. I have to put a time on there, and I usually try and go at least an hour later. Luckily, I did it last week because of the rain delay, so it buys me some time if there's a major injury, anything like that. I can't start late, right? I think it's like 5 minutes you can start late. So I can always start early, but I can't start late. So I always put the time there. But always know post games are going to be immediately after the show, after the game. So about 5 minutes or so after the game, we're gonna pop on here and we're gonna talk about it. All right. With all that being said, so I just want to make sure I put this thing up here, man. I got my man in the building. What he got up there? Well, that boy ready to go to war, ain't he? That boy ready to go to war, ain't he?
Hey, listen. Hey, they say cash money is the Army, but the Navy.
Navy.
Huh? Hey,
shout
out to all my armed forces, man. Coast Guard, Navy, Marines, everybody. Army. They say Trump gave us a space. Didn't they ask somebody else? We got a
SpaceX
unit now. So shout out to all my armed forces and representing Navy today. Hey, Coach, I was always late to class. They gave me a hall pass though, Coach. I've been late. I was always late to class. They gave me a hall pass. Hey, shout out Maximus. I'm here. Hey, we dose it here. You know what I mean? Shout out.
Oh, boy, man. He in the building, man, right now. Let me get this thing right. Look at this cat, boy. Hey, one thing about my dog, he ain't never sitting still. That boy always on the move, man.
Always moving. That's why that boost mobile ain't working. He's stuck.
You know what I mean? That boy stuck, boy. I know it being a deal. But anyway, let me do this right quick. We got 80 in the chat. We're gonna jump straight into this. As you see right here, I got 20K by 2022. What that means is my goal is to try and get 20,000 subscribers by 2022. All right, that's my new name right now. My last name was Coach Hayes. Then I became Coach 15 Stacks. Now my new name is 20K by 2022. So I need that. Balin, boy, you buffering bad. I don't know what it is, boy. You skipped my loo out that thing. So I hear you. You're kind of trying to pop in, but we're gonna get this thing going, man. But anyway, I'm trying to read Space Force.
There we go. Space Force. Thank you, D Nice. Yes. Hey, listen, it's a new one for me, but I heard about it, so I want to get a shout out. Who somebody say camouflage? Who said that? Hey Snella, what's up? Hey, not yet. I got them dark blues on. Hey Snella, I got the dark blues on. So I'm in uniform.
Hey, that boy V12 is a seaman.
Yes.
I'm gonna leave that right there.
Hey, yes. Yes, a sea man. You got to make sure it's a compound word. I know you want to Hampton and everything. I know y'all don't have a sea man, right? So I know at Hampton, at Tennessee State, we do big English. You know what I mean? So salute, Daddy. Do this. Hey, Andre, you already know I was late, Daddy. Hey, it's one thing. My homie got a schedule like I'm like I don't have no children and I'm just a single guy. Hey, I got stuff to do, man. So I'm trying to balance my time and be my homie at the same time, man. So I'm here, y'all.
Hold on, dog. You the one came and talking about I'm the co-host.
I'm the co-host.
Hey, I skip.
Yeah.
Skip.
Say.
Hey. All right, so here we go, man. Let's get this thing rolling. We ain't got much time. Mr. Balin Trujillo, you rolling? Nah, you good. Nah, you good. Nah, yeah, you close enough to the Wi-Fi. You good now.
Hey, check the drip though. Check the drip though.
I see. I like it.
I see, boy. You out, boy.
Yeah.
Hey, check this out, man. Where did you get that from? You like that? Where did you get that from?
Exclusive from a player. So hey, we gotta keep that on the low. I got that new NIL deal with the Hurricanes, so we're gonna get them drip. You feel me?
I like it.
They better drip cross that dang on goal line. That's what they better drip cross. But anyway, let's get this thing rolling, man. Let's talk about this. Like I said, I gave a shout out to everybody. You can see everything there. If you like to donate, you're more than welcome to do it through Super Chat. But again, Cash App, we get all of it. YouTube don't get a piece of that. So let's make it happen. Here we are, man. So V12, Mr. Balin Trujillo, Coach Trujillo, Coach. What do you go by? Coach Balin, Coach Trio. How you go? What do you go by?
Man, be true, baby. Be true.
All right, be true. I love it. All right, so here we go, man. Let's rock this. Let's get this thing going. Again, I keep saying this. The media wants the University of Miami to be good.
Right.
And let me go back why I'm saying this. Last year, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Bill, I know you're a University of Miami guru when it comes to this kind of stuff. Didn't we have like 3 game days last year?
3. Yeah, actually, I think it was 4.
Right? Then we playing starting off.
Dude, we start off with Louisville. We had
UAB. We start off with UAB and stuff and everything, but Louisville was on game day or whatever. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, I say that to say this. Just kick it off with Alabama, right? Boom. Everybody gonna watch that game. We come in, okay, didn't work out that well. Now we playing Thursday night. Are we the only? That's probably some other Thursday night game, but nowhere near as close as this magnitude. Right?
Only one's tonight, baby. Only one's playing tonight.
So we're the only game tonight, right? We got to make it happen, man. So they want us to be good. They keep giving us opportunity. We keep laying the egg on it. But let's talk about this piece, man. Everybody been in here rapping about Manny Diaz. Let's go and talk about the elephant in the room. His hot seat is cherry red right now. I don't know if them boys done patched up and got the doggone plane together and they flying the plane around the stadium yet. I have no idea. But how hot is his seat? I'll start with you, Balin, because you standing up like you ready to talk. That boy can't even get a seat. That boy got ants in his pants. Talk to him.
I'm really excited about this game. You have no idea, because this is really going to set the tone of where we are as a football team going into ACC play. And what better way to get motivation against a hurt Virginia team that really has been slacking the last couple of weeks. You know, they started off really hot, 2-0, and they lost two games back-to-back by 21+. But let's talk more about the Hurricanes and your topic about Manny Diaz. Here's the thing that I don't like. And here's the thing that I do like, but you just mentioned, Coach Hayes. The world wants to see Miami be great. Back in the 80s and the 90s and early 2000s, even up to 2006, which Kirk Herbstreit had, gave us all the way to grace until 2006 about where Miami was as a top 10 team consistently year in and year out and competing for national titles. All right. The college football, the whole realm wants to see us be great again because we were the standard, right? Everybody compared us to the U. We're the only university. Think about this, guys. We're the only university with a dang show created around the tradition of being a Miami Hurricane called the U. So think about that. They did a 30-30 on just one school, and it was the University of Miami. So if that doesn't tell you about the history of college football and where, Canes, the standard of as being a Hurricane is, then I don't know what else is, because I don't see Alabama having one of the top, a program going on or an ESPN special on them. What they're doing is just talking about the championships year in, year out and when Saban will retire. But here's the thing. What I don't like about what's going on with Manny Diaz is the fact that we're jumping ship, but yet we've lost to the #1 team in the country, which has proven so the last 4 weeks. And we lost to a Michigan State team who is now the transfer portal U, as Miami was the last couple of years. And they're actually doing pretty dang good. So here we are freaking out that we're 2-2 because we have to look at the record, but we're not looking at the quality of opponents that Miami is actually facing. If we start looking at the quality and tier of the opponents, we can't look at the record, because then if we're playing Alabama every week and we start off 0-3, oh, we suck. We're sorry. But yet we're not like FSU, who loses to a 1AA team on national TV on the last play of the game. So we're not that 0-4 team, right? Or we're not that 2-2 team like Virginia, who's lost to 2 subpar teams by 28, 20, 35 points and barely beating 1AA schools. No, we're the University of Miami, who's lost to Alabama. Let's put it in perspective. The #1 team in the country year in and year out, consistently 1 or 2, and Michigan State, who, as we know, is historically pretty good. Yes, they had a down year, which we can only compare 6 games to. I mean, what are we really talking about here? They went 2-4 last year with no transfers. Over the season, they got 9 transfers, which all 9 start from pretty good programs. And we had a chance to go up 14-3 in that football game. With a drop pass by Mallory, we don't know how the momentum shifts in that football game. Plus, we're missing Knighton, who's a key component in our run game. So let's keep a spade a spade. We don't need to crack on Manny Diaz every 5 seconds in the media. Kirk Herbstreit, I like what he said. I actually use that as motivation. I don't think he was really bad-mouthing Miami as they're taking it. But at the end of the day, if we're losing to these 1AA schools, put him on the hot seat. Yep, he needs to go. But the fact that we're losing to quality opponents should tell us, hey, we're not there yet, so stop putting us at that standard like we were in the early 2000s. But we're not as bad as you think we are. And I don't think, like I just mentioned on your show several times, Coach Hayes, I don't think we need to fire him mid-season. We don't need to do that. I don't think it's time for that. Now, if we lose to Virginia tonight by 35 points or 28, now it's a whole different ballgame, because now we're really showing who we are. But if we come out and we take care of business like we're supposed to, and let's say tonight we have a great performance, we're usually pretty good on Thursday nights. Let's say we come out and win 31-14 or 38-10. Okay, what now? Like, that's a quality opponent. We beat Virginia, and now we're moving on. And so it's just like, let's just see how it plays out. But right now, I don't think the hot topic needs to be Manny Diaz gets fired because we're 2-2. Why are we 2-2? We played Alabama and we played Michigan State, both in the top 15 in the country, both undefeated, and both quality opponents. So what is there to talk about, guys? We're not Florida State losing Jacksonville State on national TV on the last play of the game. I rest my case.
I see, Mr. Counselor. You got it going. Apparently, you're not for Manny being fired as of right now. You don't even think he's on the hot seat, or you don't think he should be on the hot seat. Right. V12, what's your take on it, man?
Well, you know me. I disagree wholeheartedly. To be honest with you, it's not about – sorry about that, guys. I disagree with you wholeheartedly, Balin. Here's the thing, and it's twofold for me. The one thing is this. The reason why Manny is on the hot seat, I agree with you with this point. Let me go to this point first. I agree. Tonight is the night we'll find out. We're starting ACC play, where we are as it pertains to the ACC. I agree with that 100%. However, my issue and why Manny is on the hot seat, in my opinion, is the way that we are the lack of competition on how we're competing in a lot of these games. We lost to Alabama. We did not compete very well. We lost to Michigan State, who was tiers below Alabama. We did not compete very well. We had an Appalachian State team, as we know, historically is not one of the powerhouse schools, and we barely beat that team. And then we come out and then we blow out a team that no one ever heard of. And you have confidence in the Manny Diaz, that's negative on my behalf. So I do agree he is on the hot seat, and tonight would be definitely an interesting way to find out how we're going to move. Him knowing that potentially, because when you have the national media speaking out on your program, that's big, and it looms large for the administration, and it looms large for Manny Diaz. So we'll see what happens tonight. I do agree with you that, yeah, it may not be a major panic, and I agree with both of you guys. Don't fire him mid-season. But to answer Coach's question, for me, he definitely is on the hot seat.
Yeah, I'm actually going to put a poll up in the chat right now about if he gets fired, if he loses this game or not. Here's how I take it. I agree it's twofold for me. I agree with both parts, but I have more 70-30 towards V12's point of view. And I'm going to tell you why. I don't think we should fire him in the middle of the season. I'm going to go to your point first. I think it'd be detrimental to recruiting. I think that in the way in which recruiting is today, and here's what we have to understand as a fan base, the 25 and older fan, recruiting is not the same way it was when you were in school. So don't look at it in that realm. Remember, signing day is December now. If you fire him now, you better have a coach the next day. If you fire him, say if all goes bad tonight and you decide you want to fire him at 11:30 tonight, you better have somebody by 12 a.m. And I'm going to tell you why. You got to be able, these kids now want some stability. They want to know who they're going to put their future in the hands of. I think that's huge right now. I think that if you don't have that, you don't have a mind, or even if you don't start the rumor mill of who these potential candidates may be to hold these guys, you're going to lose these guys, right? Because one man's trash is the next man's treasure. Saying that, guess what? When he's out, they gone. Man, trust me, them dudes gonna be coming in plucking. Look at it, man. Miami don't even know what they got going. Blah, blah, blah. The Shamar Stewarts, all these guys that are kind of on the fence about wanting to come to Miami, would definitely, the wind will blow the other way because of the uncertainty of who you're going to get. That's one. Now back to V12 side of it is, I agree. Balin, yes, we did lose to those very good teams, but it was the lack of competition or competitiveness, rather, in which we produced and which we showed when we played. That's the problem. That is the problem. This was the season, and I said at the beginning of the year, this was the season. This is the season where last year, yeah, COVID, everybody went through COVID. But this was the season where, okay, Miami actually, out of most teams, got the most out of COVID. On the positive side, we lost 2 guys. Two people. Everybody else came back. This should be a well-seasoned, well-oiled machine right now. Again, not saying that we should have beat Alabama, but it shouldn't have been a debacle, dog. Even App State is always a good, solid program, right? But it shouldn't have been down to a last-minute field goal. It should not have been, right? What you call it? Michigan State. That's basically a first-year team. Think about that. Even though they're transfers, that's a first-year program, and you're going to tell me that staff can get that team with all those, what they have, 40 transfers, something like that, into their program? They can get 40 different philosophies that's coming from different programs, doing all these different skill sets, all these different football philosophies, and get them to compete on the level they're competing at right now. I understand they're good players, but they've already instilled the continuity. We got our whole team back basically, but 2 players. And we still looking like first game last year. That's where the problem is. And so I said this was the year that the games that we were supposed to win, these must be dominated. We must dominate these games. The 50-50 games, we got to pull out some of those games. You see what I'm saying? And here's the funny thing. The ACC is down. We should definitely be dominated when it comes to ACC play. They talking about Wake Forest going to win the ACC? Wake Forest, dog? We should be already saying, Coastal. Like,
well,
you know what I'm saying?
Wake Forest isn't in the Coastal, thank God.
No, but I'm just saying, but whatever. I'm just saying, like, we should be saying ACC champs already because we're bringing everything back. That's what I'm just trying to say.
Yeah.
So that's where the disgruntledness comes from the fan base. Let's go into this, man. Let's go into some of these keys of this game, and let's talk about what has to happen. I personally think that Manny's seat is warm. I don't know if it's all the way hot from the administration point of view. But if he loses this game, they're definitely gonna turn up the heat. What are the matter of fact, let's go to this. Miami, De'Aaron King is out. Who gets to start? What do you look for? I'm gonna give it to you, Balin, since you coach quarterbacks. What do you look for in TVD, do you think Jake is going to play, or do you think they're going to rotate like they did against Central Connecticut and then find a hot hand, or does TVD start until it just looks bad, maybe, or if it's, gets up and then Jake gets to go? What are your takes on that if you had to walk into this game? And then while I'm doing that, I'm putting in the chat right now, does Manny get fired if he loses this game? Yes or no?
Can I ask you both a question real quick? Is it indeed, is he out today, King? 100%? Have they
From what I heard.
I think I don't see anything indicate that he's playing. So to me, I think that indicates that he's pretty much out.
Well,
but I did see somebody put in the chat that they say he was warming up. I saw that after that, but I don't know.
Well, we win this football game if he's not playing. Anyways, let's go to the next point. TVD should be the starting quarterback for this football team as of right now. He seems the most comfortable. When you look at his throws in the game compared to Jay Garcia, now Jay Garcia is electric just because he can run the football, but he gets caught on the 5-yard line against a middle school team. That concerns me. He's supposed to be walking in the end zone, probably backpedaling, but that's another conversation. He's still amazing talent. But when you look at the two different, styles of play at the quarterback position, Jake is fire ready. I mean, his first throw, he should have it was an RPO read and he threw it to the bubble and it was behind the receiver. Like, he's just ready to let it loose. And that concerns me because, again, he's a young guy trying to prove himself. Whereas you can see the difference with TVD and how comfortable he is. It was like he was just chilling at the beach, and that's what it should have looked like. But his morale, just being on the game, just made it look so easy. And again, he finished 11 for 12. That means one pass hit the ground. And if you guys can remember what that one pass was, it was a touchdown to Wiggins, who completely dropped the ball on a post route, and the ball was right on his face. So when you compare the two, I love both. Both could be great options. And again, Coach Hayes can attest to this, especially when I was with him. Whenever you're a quarterback coach or even a coach in general, and you have two guys, and you have an older guy and a younger guy, and they're kind of even, I'm playing the younger guy because he's going to be longer. But here's the scenario. They're both freshmen. So, and the only difference is TVD has a whole year under his belt. He's been here for a whole year, never lost it because of COVID. And then Jake comes in. He's probably going to end up redshirting because I don't see him playing more than 4 games, which would be smart on our part, just getting some experience, but don't play him that much unless we really need to. I think the experience of being in the program for over a year is going to help TVD, earn the starting role tonight. And I told you guys in the pregame show before even the Alabama game that I believe TVD gave us the best option to beat an Alabama team or that caliber because of the pro style that he brings. If you look at the teams that have beaten Alabama, those are the guys sitting in the pocket delivering the football. Their secondary hasn't been that good. Everybody up front for Alabama, like their D-line and their linebacker play, is phenomenal. So it's hard for teams to run RPO style offenses or even run against an Alabama team. And I said and this is again back in July doing our shows, that TVD probably gave us the best shot. And after seeing him against this middle school team that we just played, he looked completely comfortable. And the best throw of the game was on a 3rd and 9 when he threw a 5-yard out route from the hash to the sideline and on a dime. Restrepo caught it, made a move, went up, got a first down. But just to see that throw and how comfortable he was really excited me, and putting him in a game like Virginia, which could boost a lot of confidence going into the real tests coming up if we can get past this test tonight. Because, guys, if we lose tonight, I'm sorry, there is no coastal hope. We have no North Carolina up next. I don't care if you have 3 bye weeks or 2 bye. It don't matter. And then after that, we have Pittsburgh, who's starting to really roll on offense. This is the game to get comfortable, and we need to put the guy that we believe that's going to lead us to victory at the quarterback position if King is out. And I still believe, based on what I saw, and yes, again, we can talk about Central Connecticut all we want. Football's football. They put pads on just like we do. And, at any given day, just like Jacksonville State beat Florida State, those guys aren't in that same caliber, and yet here they are competing and beating them. So he still looks so comfortable. And again, he could have finished the game over 400 yards of offense, 12 for 12 with 4 touchdowns, but yet he was 11 of 12 for 86 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, and then Jake Garcia, on the other hand, did phenomenal, but I think TVD just brings that extra experience and calmness and just relaxation at the quarterback position, which is why I believe he should start tonight.
All right, V12, real quick, what's your takes on the quarterback?
Yeah, I like the mobility of Jake. Like I think Jake for me has the it factor. If he's healthy, I think Jake should get the start But I do feel that if both quarterbacks are healthy, I think it's going to be similar to the Central Michigan game, where you're going to have Connecticut game. I'm sorry, where you're going to have both quarterbacks rotating in and out depending on how it goes. And then I think Manny would make the decision, whoever has the high hand, to keep going. Although, let me say this: I know we always double back and say, yeah, it was Central Connecticut State. However, we have to really, really realize that for TVD and Jake Garcia, they're going to be smaller windows tonight because you're playing a better team. You're playing ACC caliber teams. So from a passing standpoint, the DBs from Virginia, they're going to be a lot better. They're going to be a lot quicker, and they may even man up a little more. So don't put too much stock into those two right now until we know we get some ACC play on our belt. If they do well tonight, then I'll be a little bit more sigh of relief. But unlike Balin, again, I do believe our best chance to win this game is if De'Aaron King is playing. That's the best chance. But I do believe Garcia and TVD give us a chance to win the game. But we'll see. It's gonna be tough because again, Garcia, TVD not being as mobile. Of course, one thing we know about football and what coaches do, they make adjustments. So now they have film on TVD and they have film on Jake. I guarantee you, Bronco Mendenhall, who is a hell of a coach as well, will make their adjustments, and it'll be a little bit more difficult sledding against the Virginia defense in the ACC.
Hey, Hayes, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
And B12. When you're a head coach, and I'm a quarterback myself, so I know how it is because I played the position since I was 7. When you're going into a game like this, especially at a young age, whether it's TVD or Jay Garcia, the number one thing that I think should happen is rhythm. Getting a quarterback on rhythm, getting him in timing, getting him in situations to feel comfortable. Do you think by this game being a big-time ACC game, this is a primetime game, it's going to be on ESPN, 7:30 p.m. tonight, the only game going on, all eyes are watching the Miami Hurricanes, especially after what Kirk Herbstreit said this past week. Do you believe that doing a quarterback rotation every two series in a game environment like that is a smart strategy trying to figure it out? I don't. I think whoever they announce as a starter needs to be the starter and get in a rhythm throughout the game. And then if emergency happens, if he's throwing 3 picks or whatever the case may be, maybe at halftime make the switch. But it's just I don't see, because Central Connecticut is it's like a scrimmage. So you can do something like that to kind of feel it out because at the end of the day, your athletes are just that much better. But we're in a game that we could potentially lose this if we don't play it right. I don't think that it's smart to do any type of rotation with these quarterbacks to see, let's see who gives us the best chance through the first quarter. Because by that time, the way we've been playing, we could be down 14-21 zip if we just try to fool around here. I'm serious. This is scary stuff right here. What do you guys think?
Real quick. Big shout out to young Jedi Kane, man. The 14-year-old gangster out there, man. I'm gonna get him on the show one time, man. We're gonna definitely chop it up with him. But go ahead, V12, and then I'll answer, and then I'm gonna pull up some stuff.
It's been talked that Jake Garcia is out tonight, so I'm not sure that's confirmed or not. So if Jake is out, then to Balin's point, we won't have that issue, and so we'll see. And so to answer your question, yes, rhythm goes. To have a good rhythm helps the quarterback out, helps the receivers out, helps the offense out in general. But Manny, I think, is still trying to find that stopgap. So if TBD and Jake, they're both healthy, I think he would have gone with that combination to kind of figure out who's doing better in the game. If TBD comes out, he can't complete passes and he can't move the offense, then he knows that he has a backup quarterback or a second quarterback and Jake who may be able to move the offense, and then you kind of gauge it from there. So again, I agree. Rhythm is key, from an offensive standpoint, from a coaching standpoint, is key. And I would much more prefer a permanent quarterback. But right now we don't have. We need to figure out if King can't go the long haul, who's going to be our quarterback.
Can I ask what happened to Jake Garcia? I know I heard reports that he was in a boot at practice. I mean, what he thinks he's Superman or what? He's
I don't know. Somebody put it in the chat. Somebody did my first time here. Now somebody put in the chat. Big shout out to Footballville, man. So we got this thing. We've been going back with your mama joke. So he said, "Hey, mama so black, the next color white." I don't get it. That's corny. So guess what, man? Big shout out to you, man. Hey, I just had to let you know, man. He's terrible. Big shout out to Street. That's but hey, Footballville Street, I just want to let you know, man, your mama's so stupid. She went to the dentist to get a Bluetooth. All right, here we go. So, with that being said, let me go ahead and get this thing rolling. So
You wrong for that one.
Big shot of Streeter, but let me say this part. I agree with you wholeheartedly, Balin. I don't believe that you should rotate those guys if that was the case, right? But what I do know is that you have to let Jake go. You also made a very valid point about burning the 4 games, right? He's already burned 1. You know, if the guy has the hot hand right now, don't burn him out, because now you have to think about injury, right? Later down the line in the run. If he's playing well, he's playing good, because now you can still get through the season with 3 more games. Say it's the last 3 games of the season. He gets you through that season. And he still hasn't burned his red shirt. So now you have him for an additional year if need be. So they have to be very strategic in regards to how they use Jake. I know the fan base emotionally speaking, but let's be good. You understand what I'm saying? Footballville, tell us real quick. You say Jake out, dog. Why is he out? If you could type that in for whatever reason. You know, my man, he the media, he the ground mold down there. He be back there hiding in many of locking and stuff, trying to eavesdrop on what's going on. But
can I ask you a valid question?
Yeah.
And this is going for the chat too, but this is mainly for V12 and Coach Hayes. Let's say TVD gets to start tonight and looks flawless. Looks like one of the guys, like just the guy. Like he does exactly what he did against Central Connecticut, has a 90% completion rate, maybe throws 2 to 3 touchdowns. We win by a blowout. He looks comfortable. Does he do enough in a game like this to kind of earn the job, to see how he does the rest of the season instead of trying to risk him coming back?
Well, you took a question from me, but go ahead. But it's a great question, because go ahead, V12, because I said that earlier about the Alabama game, but go ahead, V.
Hey,
right,
listen,
right.
that's the kudos to you, Balin. Number one, for the remark about Jake Garcia eligibility not playing not playing the full game. I think that's a great valid point. But you brought up, that's huge. Guess what? We now have what's called a quarterback competition if TVD plays flawless. And sometimes, even though De'Aaron King has played decent, sometimes that's what you need. Not somebody's on your heels. It's not solidified anymore. And for me, and I'm an old school guy, and they always say you never lose your starting position to injury. Big asterisks. Unless the other guy looks phenomenal. So to your point, if the offense is moving, we're scoring points, everything is clicking, we're in sync, it's tough for you to pull TVD out for King, in my opinion.
Guys, I want you to remember
I want to answer, because you asked the question. So I want to answer. Yeah. You're 100% right. It's one of the hardest things to do. I've said this about, and I said this the other day on the show. In the fan base, I know we love King. I said this before, but I think his time is run. That back to that out showed me a lot about TVD. That one play, that is NFL caliber throws. That's what NFL wants to see.
I agree.
That kind of throw, I broke that film down, I looked at it. That ball is out before the break, and it hits him square. Unfortunately for King, he's a great guy, and this is where it's the hardest thing to do for coaches. You build a relationship with a guy. He's a great guy. King has been through a lot of things. He's faced adversity, fought through it, made it over. Brought the NLI. He actually brought Buzz back to the University of Miami. All of these different things. But I hate to say this, guys. And when it comes to the business, that's why I always tell people, it ain't family. This is the business. Number one, you always be number one in our heart, but you number 2 on the playbook right now, on the depth chart. It's just what it is. You number 1 in my heart, dog, but you number 2 on the depth chart from now on. Now, I would play him over burning out Jake Garcia.
Yeah.
But that's it. I think TVD's arm is stronger. I just feel like when King throws the ball, he's giving everything he's got. He's like, ugh. You know what I mean? It's like even when he's throwing the hitch, it's like, ugh. It's not just whoop. It's just not coming off easy. So I say all that to say the very same thing, man. I think if TVD, if TVD comes out, does what he's supposed to do, he'll be fine. But I'm gonna go back to also your previous point. What I think needs to happen with TVD tonight is, you said it too, he needs to throw confidence throws, low percentage risk throws at the beginning to build a confidence, right? In a sense of throw your hitches, throw your bubble, throw your slants, throw the different things in what you need in order to build this confidence. Because like any other quarterback, I don't care who you are, as long as you're completing the ball, your confidence is growing and growing. Then you can take those type of chances. You understand what I'm saying? So that's where I look at it when it comes to him. Real quick, I'm gonna do this because I want to push this thing onto the defensive side. It's already 6:41. We got 290 people in the chat. Appreciate it. Real big shout out, man. Catfish Genie 11,499. I appreciate you. He says Manolo. Is that Manny's real name?
I don't know. He's making fun of him.
I think it's Manuelo or something like that. Better not play King tonight. Being a former lineman, I'd rather have TVD back there. We haven't had a big arm in a while. Diaz out, por favor.
Por favor.
Please. Por favor. Look at me, por favor. Look at me, bud.
Poor favor. Hey, Virginia's out, poor favor. That's why I'm B Dose and you are.
Give us a poor favor, please.
So can y'all be quiet? Can y'all be quiet, poor favor, while I give him his love? All right, anyway, so we back, man, and Balin fell all the way off the earth, so he's no longer on the screen. But there he is. He back around in 80 days. So anyway, we back in the thing, man. Like I said, we got 284 in the chat. Appreciate it. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's get this thing rolling. Let's talk about running game. We talked about Coach.
You know I gotta say one thing about TVD before we head off.
Oh my goodness, go ahead.
I just want you guys to remember what we talk about the quarterback position that we need. That starts with a C. Consistency. If we go even back to the spring game, remember how efficient he was in the spring game? Even the 3 games before that, they had scrimmages. There was one scrimmage that he threw 6 touchdowns in. Guys, I'm telling you right now, we are not giving as much credit as we need to because we're so hype on this Jake Garcia because he's the biggest quarterback recruit that we've had since dang Kyle Wright. Let me not bring his name up anymore, please. But guys, I'm telling you what, TVD might be this answer that just been sitting on our sideline that we had no idea about because we just got lost in all this sauce with De'Aaron King. I'm telling you what, man, if tonight he proves himself, we're going to have a nice conversation this post-game podcast because he could show the world tonight this kid is the real deal. And he's been quiet. He's a humble guy. You don't really hear much of him complaining in the media. He's just chilling. He's, celebrating with Jake as he's performing. But, he really could be a solid answer. So every scrimmage and every time we've seen him perform, he's put up numbers and scary numbers consistently, and that's what impresses me about TVD.
All right, I love it, man. Real quick, I'm gonna give Anthony his love, man. He be in the building. Now I can't put the stream key in for you, Anthony. Man, I'll open the phone lines for the post game, but here time is limited. But I will go with your question, Coach. Did it seem like with King, the playbook was a little bit limited in terms of the passing game, but when we had Tyler and Jake in, the passing game was opened up a lot more. I'm going to say this. I'm going to answer this first. It appears to be that way, but I have to say this. Competition allowed you to do more things in your playbook. I have to say that. When your competition is a lot less, man, look here, bro. You can throw the post route. I know this dude is 10 times faster than this cat. I know that we just out-compete. And, we all been in those deals, man. You just turn it up, man. When you playing school for the deaf and blind, you just do what you want to do. And yes, they got those chances. If King played, I think they would have took those stretch plays as well. They would have took vertical shots just as well if King was in the game. So optically, it did look like it opened up more. Realistically, I think the competition level allowed it to be open more than what you've been seeing lately. But I have to say this. I think TVD has more shot plays in his playbook, and Garcia has more shot. And when I say shot plays, mean vertical stretches down the field. Deep post ball, 7-step drops, get it down the field because I think they have a much stronger arm than King does. Real quick, I want to do this part, and I'm going to have to move this thing forward. Lionel Cabrera with the 1999. I appreciate it. He didn't leave a comment, but I appreciate the love. I'll give it to you on the next break.
Let me just say this, Coach, before that. And some people are saying just say it. And let's just be quite frank. TVD is bigger and he's stronger than De'Aaron King. And that's to to the comment that the young man, the person just made about the playbook, I do think, and even though we may not want to say it, I think Rhett Lashlee sees the limitations to De'Aaron King, and they cater the offense to him. With TVD and Jake, bigger, stronger quarterbacks who have stronger arms, he can sit back and see over and throw, the crossing route. He can throw the post, and their vision is a lot better. For example, when you spoke about that, and I saw that same thing you saw, Coach, I was like, my goodness, what a rope on that down and out. You know what I mean? On that down and out. I mean, 3rd and 9 on a rope. And and for me, Balin, I was like, whoo, that's deep. So I agree with Balin. Sometimes you have what you need sitting in your back pocket, but because of quote unquote love and what this person has done for the program, it's hard to make that change. That's why we ain't the coach. That's why we ain't getting paid the big bucks.
And I think that's what that's what they're criticizing him on. If he made this big old announcement after the game, we're going to make depth chart changes. But then when they come out with the depth chart this week, and the complaint is he had made no changes. They're all seniors still playing on the field, and the love of the backups or the younger guys isn't showing. And I love that number 12. So he better see the field tonight. So that receiver, freshman, bro, he better see the field tonight. We're gonna have some serious problems.
Well, guess what, y'all? Guess what? Hey, for you, Balin, I know Coach is going here, but for you, Balin, cock-a-doodle-doo. Because they said there may be a rooster sighting tonight. Cock-a-doodle-doo. Yeah. There may be a rooster in the house.
My favorite
tonight.
player. If you guys remember anything about last year, I talked about that before every week. That boy different.
Let's see. That's positive.
Well, listen, we're going to find this hunger. We're going to find those things. And I'm going to tell you what else. Believe this or not, is going to give, I believe that's going to help Cam out. That's what I want to get into in the run game right quick before we go to defense. We just a little short of 45 minutes away from kickoff. So let's talk about this part right here. In the running game, I was talking to Street about running game, and we were talking about Cam. And here's what I believe about Cam. Cam can play this game. Again, a lot of things optically don't look well, right? But if you break it down and you really understand what's happening, I believe in my heart there's two things. This is not an excuse. I've actually seen this happen to players. Last year, think about this as a player. He put out the tweet, felt disrespected, right? I get it. They're supposed to come back with this great returning offensive line with all of this experience, and he's getting met in the backfield. He can't get a rhythm going. Running backs need a rhythm too. He can't get a rhythm going, right? Yeah, he does make a juke move, but sometimes that can happen to you so much that it's almost like a mirage. You're starting to see stuff that ain't there, right? Yeah, you see a hole, and it's some plays I saw on there. Guess what? He has to dodge his own color just to dodge the opposite color team. And so there, I say all that to say this: he hasn't found any consistency through the blocking scheme of it all. That's one. But part of that is because you've lost out in the change of pace guys like Knighting and in Chaney, right? Think about the three-headed monster we have. We got the Thunder, we got in Chaney. I'm sorry, in Cam, we got the Lightning in Knighting, and we got a combination of both in Chaney. Well, Knighting is out for whatever he did. Chaney's hurt. Now you got Cam, Cody Brown, and Thad Franklin. So the weight is all on Cam's shoulders, in essence, right? So now think about that. These guys truly can key in on what he does. And another thing I think that's really wrong with Cam's game is the plays, that zone stuff is not his cup of tea. He is a off tackle, pulling, wham block type of runner. He's a one cut go. He doesn't have the ability to, like a Knighting. You can probably see where he can juke his way out because he's got quick twitch in his feet. Bro, Cam is what, 5'11", 220? That's a thick dude. He doesn't possess that skill set. That doesn't mean he's not a good running back. Sometimes the play calling or the plays themselves have to help the player get going in that essence. Real quick about running back, what's your take on both ends? Just quickly, guys, and then we're going to move this thing forward to the receivers, and then we're going to go ahead on the defensive side so I can get these guys their love. Go ahead.
Yeah, Knighton being back, I think is going to be huge. Some fresh legs. It's 4 games in. Yeah, so we get some fresh legs. And like you said, open up the offense a little bit, 1-2 punch, and I think it'll be good. It definitely be good. So that's a good thing. I'm glad he's back. Hopefully, he's mentally prepared because he's gonna get a lot of carries tonight. So I think he'll be fine.
I like the switch of pace. I think that's why there was really no threat with Cam. I'll be honest with you. We're trying to make a thundered back look like lightning and call those type of plays, and it's just not him. So now that you have a 2-step back, when were we successful in our run game? Think about it. We had Javaris James and Greg Cooper one year. Duke Johnson. He wasn't carrying all the load, but yet he was able to be explosive. I think Knighton's more of that caliber where you're looking at a Greg Cooper type kid, or explosive back, or like a Duke Johnson. Duke was special, but like, just think about that. We need that thunder and that lightning, the two different type of style backs, because now you're keeping defense on their toes. But if you have a thundered back there the entire game, you're trying to do RPOs and stretch plays and jet sweeps from the backfield, you're really not threatening nobody. I mean, those guys can send 6 or 7 and Cam ain't going nowhere. He doesn't have that electric speed or that movement to get out. Yeah, he might juke one guy, but it's not like a consistent basis where we can count on it. But now with the two different style of backs, it also motivates Cam, right? Because now there's really no one pushing Cam. So he's just out there, running whatever, getting 60 yards a game. But now you got Knighton back there who's a hungry horse who's probably been on doing scout team for the last 4 weeks, ready to take it. He's going to feel them jitterbugs come under the lights tonight in a big-time primetime game. So I'm excited about our run game. And, again, that's something that we need to establish tonight early to make our young quarterback, if it's TVD tonight, get comfortable. Because to establish a run game, it's also going to open up the passing game.
Yeah, definitely, man. Joshua Steele, big shout out to you, man, for the 999. Thank you so much. As well as Jeff Landrum. He says 49 Coach V12 and Balin. Thank you for everything that you guys do. Love watching you guys. And I appreciate you, Jeff, as well, for the 499. Let's talk about this real quick receiver play. We saw some young, dynamic dudes come out. I don't care if it was Central Connecticut. When I seen Romello go up and catch that thing with the one handy, when I seen guys, and here's the funny thing, this ain't got nothing to do with competition.
Gotta make a play. Yeah.
Harley caught everything. I don't think he dropped one. Wiggins dropped his opportunity.
He had one ball thrown to him.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, here's my deal. And I've said this before, and Balin, I'm glad you on here for this because I do want to ask this question. I have some thoughts about this. From a quarterback, ball delivery is different. I've always brought this up. I'll never forget watching this they were talking about Dan Marino and the amount of rotations a ball has every 10 yards. And Dan Marino was one of the highest guys, John Elway, Brett Favre. They were talking about the amount of rotation. I think it was 17 rotations per 10 yards. And that was talking about velocity and all of these things. I know we're getting real scientific, but I think this plays a big role. Do you think the way King delivers the ball, and I know this is going to sound like an excuse, but I know there's some science behind this. The way that King delivers the ball makes it difficult to catch versus the way TVD delivers the ball, because Harley dropped easier passes than what he caught out of other guys. I see V12 smirking, and I know it sounds like an excuse. You should catch balls thrown to you, but there's something. I feel like it's something there. Am I crazy or what? Talk to me.
You tripping, Coach, and you crazy. Go ahead, Balin.
Yeah,
you tripping, dog. Go ahead.
I will.
Hold up. Give it to me. Oh,
you tripping, Coach, and you my dog. You tripping.
Hold up.
If that's the case, nobody has a football team. Nobody in the pros. You tripping, Coach. But go ahead, Balin.
All right. So
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
V12's point and Coach Hayes' point. I'm gonna agree with both. Okay. First of all, you're not getting a full scholarship to the University of Miami if you can't catch a dang football. So the excuse of how the ball delivers, they're not thinking about that when the ball's in the air. They got to catch the ball. If it's your hands, you better come down with the dang football. But to Coach Hayes' point, there is a difference in the rotation of a football and the delivery of how the ball comes out consistently from a quarterback or some guy who's trying to make a throw as hard as he can. The difference in there is no really consistency with D'Eriq King's footballs. You see it. One goes to the dirt, one's too high, one's floating. Like 90% of his balls are just floaters. If you see the way that Tyler Van Dyke is throwing that football, and even Jake Garcia, we're talking ropes. There's no time to think when that ball's in the air. It's hitting your dang hands and it's hitting you in the numbers. So when you have a quarterback that's consistently throwing the ball in spots and the rotation of his delivery, you can see all that, especially when you're running around. With D'Eriq King, if you notice, he dips like this. He throws all arm from up here. You don't know where that ball's coming out of. So you're thinking like in the middle of your route, like where is this ball going? when you see Tyler Van Dyke and even Jake Garcia, their form is pretty nice because the delivery comes out the same, straight ahead. So they know wherever that arm slot's coming, that ball's going to be there. So there's not really much time to think. You just react to the ball, and that's what makes it easier for Harley to catch the ball, or some of these younger receivers, because there was not many drop balls in the game other than Wiggins' wide open touchdown. So I do agree to Coach Hayes, but that's really expert stuff. That's like next level stuff. But these guys are Division I caliber athletes, and they are seeing the same things we are. Because when you watch Derek Team throw football, it's probably one of the worst mechanically formed quarterbacks I've ever seen deliver the ball. I'm serious. Just watch how he throws. It's terrible. But then you see the difference in what a true quarterback looks like when he delivers. And these receivers who are very athletic don't have time to think about where this ball is going to be delivered. So they actually can now react instead of start thinking. Because as we all know, we play our best football when we don't think. We just play. So when that ball comes out and they know it's coming there, they can continue their route. They don't have to slow things down. They have to wait for the ball. A lot of these guys, they're just waiting for these little floaters. And then some of these hitch routes are just to the dirt. So now they're trying to cradle the ball, and they're not really positioned to do that naturally, especially on a hitch route. So now that when Tyler Van Dyke and Jake's in, that ball's coming, and it's coming on time because there's rhythm there. They know the steps. Everything's fluid. It's one motion, and it's consistent. And that's the difference.
So real quick,
football.
I agree. Hold on. Let me slap myself one more time. Oh man, I'm sorry. But Balin, thank you for cleaning that up for me. And that's what I was just trying to say. And maybe I'm wrong. So maybe it was the delivery of it. So Chef Forbes here, man, that's a former player. He was on not long ago, man. Played for me here at New Orleans, went on to Utah State, played running back, receiver, DB, the whole nine. He was the man. And so he said catching balls from Spence, who was our quarterback for the state championship team. Spence was maybe 5'10", I guess, 5'11". He says catching balls from Spence versus catching balls from a 6'5" QB at Utah State was night and day. Easy to catch balls from a taller quarterback. And I guess it's almost, here I go, finna make probably a stupid analogy again. It's almost like a catcher from trying to catch from a pitcher. Those balls are cranking 90. If he's catching a fastball, you're basically looking at the release. You know what I mean? You see the ball, but at 90 miles per hour, that ball is like, phew! So you're basically catching his release. Does that make sense what I'm saying? And if a guy is releasing the ball all weird, it may be hard to catch it. So that makes a lot of sense, Balin, man. Thank you for clearing that up. V12 real quick before I move on to the other side of the ball.
Okay, here's a couple of things.
I need one more.
It's all good. I think I abused you already. Listen, it's all good. Different quarterbacks throw differently. Lefties throw different from righties. I get that. The ball comes out different. That's a given. That's why we're receivers, right? Give me Mark Brunell and give me Peyton Manning. I'm catching them all day. I will say this though, it's the repetition with the quarterback, and it's also the timing. So, like I said to you, remember last week, Coach, I said it may be better that TBD and Jake is in because with Romello Brinson and with other young receivers, they've been playing with him on second and third team, so it comes out a little different. I agree with Chef Barnes' assessment of a taller quarterback, and you're not off base. With a smaller quarterback, you can't see the ball until it's coming. With the taller quarterback, he's taller, and you can eye him and the ball when he releases it to get your hands ready to catch the ball. But to say, De'Aaron King's spiral comes not different, and that's why Mike Harley needs to catch the doggone balls. And guess what? Stop letting the ball hit his chest and get your hands out. I will say this: if you see guys like what's my man name from Olave from Ohio State, look how he catches the ball. We gotta stop as receivers at using our chest to catch the ball. Even with Strepo, a lot of his catches, when he catches with his hands, he basically drops nothing. When he goes to that chest catch, it's a difficult catch to make oftentimes. Although we do it as receivers, you got to look it in. Wiggins, I don't know what I mean.
I don't care who threw that football to Wiggins.
It's just insane. You have to be able to look the ball in and catch the ball. So again, we got to focus more. Look the balls all the way in. I think it'll be fantastic, and let them young boys play some more. Let them young boys play. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited, man.
Real quick, man, big shout out to Norm. He said, what's good, gentlemen? Thank you for the $10, man. I'm giving everybody love when we break to the defensive side of it. Man, you guys saved me on that one. You know what I mean? Y'all, hey, chat kind of killing your boy right now, but that's all right. I got big shoulders. I can take it. I don't think I articulated my point very well, but Mr. Coach B True helped your boy out a little bit because I I knew it was something. You know what I mean? Because here's what I do know. Why all of a sudden is there a change in Harley? That's what made me question it. It was, I mean, this dude catching corner routes. This dude catching, you understand what I'm saying? Like, those are the things that I saw that made me feel that way.
One more factor, and I'm gonna say this, and y'all may not like me. I know y'all may chat. I know the chat gonna like this because I'm a straight shooter. Guys, confidence plays a lot in it, and guess what? Mike Harley knows he can beat defenders at Central Connecticut State by a long shot. You know, he knows that. So we're gonna see when press coverage come tonight if he still is calm, if he's still as smooth. If he's still and if he can still catch the ball.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Go ahead.
The defense for Virginia is probably one of the worst in the ACC. So even
but
tonight,
it's still ACC caliber though.
Test.
So we'll see. It's still ACC caliber play.
Yeah, but listen, we ain't ranking that high either offensively. So let me go through this.
Go
so it's almost a toilet bowl situation. Even watch. I gotta push this, guys, because we already had 7-2, man.
Let's go. Yeah. Let's go.
So here's the deal. So offensively, right now, real quick, man, just bullet points, no explanation. Keys to the offense for the win. V12.
We need to have at least 400-yard passing, and we need to get that our running backs in the 100-yard range. One running back at least 400 yards, and the quarterback play has to be great tonight for us to win this game. Quarterback play, running back play, and receiver play.
Balin?
I think offense needs to put up points. I think we limit to 3 punts all game. And I think special teams is a key part in this game. I think we need to have some type of electric play, whether it's a kickoff return, a punt return for a touchdown. We need to do something special teams wise because a lot of our momentum in the history when we were good was fed off of how good our special teams was. And to be honest with you, I don't even remember the last time we did anything on special teams as far as like returning a punt return or kick return for a touchdown. So I think we need to somehow have a big play and field possession. Field position when we get the ball on punts. That needs to be better, but that's something that we can't control. But we can't control if we block on kickoff or punt return. So I think we need to have a big play on special teams.
Yeah, I'm going to say my keys to the game is I want to see a 50-50 game. What do I mean by that? I think it should be an even 50-50, 45-55 type deal, run pass. We got to be able to do both, establish both. I always talk about run game, but we got to be able to do both in this game. And I think if we come out in total roundabouts the same offensive passing, offensive rushing, however that comes about, I think we definitely dominate because now we dominate in both aspects of the offense. That's how I look at it because, again, you're going to have a first-time starter in major football. I don't care how bad we think they are, right? We still got to take some of that pressure off, right? Get the ball out of his hand. For example, Restrepo, there was a 9-yard pass. Beautiful throw, 33-yard throw for 9 yards. But look, Restrepo make a guy miss, takes it for another 15, whatever, right? Those are the type of throws I think we need to have. Let the foot soldiers do the footwork. You give them the ball are the orders. Boom, take that, get down the field, do your thing, man. That's what I think. From the running game, we definitely got to make that thing happen. All right. What do you say? Coach running this podcast like we have practice yelling out individuals. I don't get it, y'all. Appreciate you, Catfish. All right, so that's my take. Let me give these guys their love. We're going to get on to the defense right after this. All right, real quick. God, every time we come back, that boy, look, Baylor came back around. He fell off the earth and he back. All right, so here we go. Let's get this thing rolling defensively, man. Defensive game, we know what we did against Central Connecticut. I didn't even get to the offensive line part of it. I didn't even want to go that far because we would have been another hour. But we're going to talk about it post-game.
Post-game. Yep, post-game.
We're going to find out
post-game. There's plenty to talk about in that post-game with that offensive line.
All right, so here we go. Let's talk about this offense. Let's talk about defensively. All right, defensively.
Yeah.
Let's go DBs. And the reason I say that, they are a pass-happy team. I'm trying to look at their stuff. They're pass-happy. They're going to throw the rock. This is how they go into games. They're averaging 430 yards passing, 114 yards rushing per game. So they're pretty much lopsided. Our DBs may have, and our defensive passing scheme is going to get put to the test tonight, and the young man can throw it. So my thing is, I'll start off with you there, V12. What do you think needs to happen from that part of it? And who do you think they're going to attack?
Oh, that's a good question. I think that we know they're going to attack the secondary. Bronco Mendenhall is an excellent coach. He's an offensive minded coach, so we know that they're going to throw the ball and they can throw it very well. B. Armstrong, who's their quarterback, he's averaging over 400 yards per game, and their receiver Wicks is a real good receiver. And we also know this about Virginia team. They love to use their tight ends as well. So they're going to attack Gervin Hall. They're going to attack the strong safety. And so, they may also put pressure on Bubba Bolden, in the back. So it's going to be a difficult task for us from a defensive perspective in the backfield, because we know that they're going to throw the ball, and then we know once they throw the ball, it leads to the running game can open up, and we know our defensive line is a little bit suspect. So they're passing first to set up the run instead of running to set up the pass.
All right, Baylor.
Guys, I'm extremely excited that our secondary is going to be put to the test tonight, because I, in my opinion, believe this is the strongest part about our defense is our secondary. We can't stop the run worth crap. So the fact that we don't have to put, your boy McLeod in some type of space to make a play every play is very exciting for me. So
leave him alone. Leave him alone.
You know me. I'm going to attack him till the day he graduates, or at least makes a play for us that helps us win this game or something. But our secondary, I think, is the strongest and most experienced part about our defense, and I'm very excited the fact that we're going to rely heavily on them. That could also hurt us in a lot of ways, as we've seen in Alabama, and we gave this freshman the all-time record in the history of Alabama to pass the ball, and they're not even really known for passing. So that scares me. But this is not Alabama type of caliber. And hold on, my dog is getting excited for this Hurricane game. Hey, chill out. 30 minutes. So anyways, but if you guys remember, last year this was Armstrong's first ever game as a starting quarterback. So this is like a welcome back party for Armstrong, who is obviously much better this year than he was last year. So with that being said, I'm excited.
I love it, man. Hey, that boy ready, boy. There's some canes over there. So anyway, real quick, I think the same thing. So speaking from the defensive side, here's what I know we have to do. If a guy's putting up, if they're averaging 430 passing, they do a great job manipulating defenses. You don't just line up and throw the ball around the yard. You have to manipulate defenses in the sense of motion. You have to manipulate defenses in the form of formations. I said this all the time. I think personally, because they know we like to play some man, because we bring so much of that pressure, you're going to see some of the rub routes. You're going to see some of the drags. You're going to see the overs, right? Coaches don't reinvent the wheel, believe it or not. They look what hurt you, what's continuously hurting you, right? Here's how the boxes get checked. What hurt them, okay? The drag concepts, the flood routes, that hurts Miami. That hurt them in Alabama. All right, let's look at the next game. Did it continuously hurt them? Yes. Did it hurt them the next game? Yes. That means they haven't found a fix for it. So we're going to try it too until they find a fix for it. We're going to find out if they found a fix for it. That's how that works. So be prepared to see those type of things, those type of drags. Be prepared to see things where you may see a rub route. You may see bunch sets where they can get the mismatches. They can get the mix-ups, those type of deals. And again, quarterback does a great job getting the ball out, throwing it around the yard, basically. Let's get into this. Linebacker play. All right. Linebacker play, I have to tell you this, and I don't want to put this on the players, man. I look at this. This is all coaching philosophy. The way in which we do our read steps, I think it doesn't help us. It's an old school feel to eye back, the way in which we try to attack it. If watch our linebackers tonight, you're going to see the Mike and Will, whoever that's going to be, they switch them up, whether it's Jennings and Flag or whoever. When they see action, 2 steps to the left, both of them fly, and they actually get on top of each other, just like this. And that's what creates that cutback lane. They don't work in tandem. They work on top of each other, right? That's what hurts us cutback-wise. I think that's something they're going to see. We saw Kenneth Walker do it against Michigan State. We saw my man, I think Peoples or whatever from App State do it. We definitely saw Brian what's his name, Robinson from Alabama do it, right? We didn't see too much of it against Central Connecticut State. We just were better, and we could overcome that. But I'm telling you, our linebacker play is partly the players, yes, but I'm telling you, it's schematic. It's bad, dog. Y'all not seeing it. And I see my man say, come on, T. Gray. Come on, coach. No, coach me, coach. Coach me, coach. Like I said, when everybody's doing it, it's being taught. When one person's doing it, it's him. Y'all get what I'm coming from with that? When everybody's doing something, that is being taught. And every linebacking combination comes in, they look exactly the same. They look exactly the same. Now, I'm not saying Jennings, sometimes a player got to make a play. But I'm talking about at the snap of the ball, how they react to things, that's being taught. That is being taught. You understand? Real quick, what is your take on linebacker play for either one of you guys on mute?
It's the worst part about our defense, honestly. It's the least experienced, and it needs to step up. Now, I do believe it's a lot better this year than it was last year, only because McLeod's now at the defensive end position. So whoever's out there is a lot better than what we've seen from LB McLeod, whatever his name is, the entire year last year. So I'm going to keep picking on him until, again, he makes a play. But I do believe that they need to be better tonight, especially now that Armstrong likes, if you watch his film, he does a lot of things vertically, but he also loves the check down to the running backs. And who's responsible for those guys? The backers. So if you watch him and he sees any type of blitz on man coverage, his first read is the hot read, which is going to go right to the back. And that could be a big thing for them this week. And as we've seen in the past, we don't really cover the backs really well, especially in space. So that's almost like their indirect way of getting the stretch game in a run game. So it's just getting those guys on the edge, but you're throwing the ball instead of just handing it off. So we really need to fly to the ball, and Manny needs to do a good job of disguising any blitzes with the linebacker play if we have a really good chance to stop them defensively. But just like you said, Coach Hayes, I feel like if we're going to watch defense, I think that's the one spot on our defense that we need to really key on if we're going to have a lot of success defensively tonight and hold their high-powered offense that we've seen the last couple weeks.
Got you. Let's get them to the D-line right quick. Let's talk about D-line. I have to say this. I've been looking at D-line. I've been doing this like I'm on the staff. I've been going back looking at gameplay because I don't want to just talk. I want to be about it. I want to know what I'm talking about. Especially, like I said, I think my niche in this whole YouTube thing is to bring to the fans a coaching perspective, right? Not just talking, but bring it from a coach's perspective and not just talking out of emotion. So I go back and do the research. I have to say this about Nasty Nesta. I love his intensity. Now, there are some plays he took off. Don't get me wrong. But that big dude be hustling. When he start running and them little feet start flipping out like this, that means he giving his all, bro. Right? When a big dude run, his head go back, he trying to get it. I have to say that. Now, he's been playing. There's some plays I've seen him kind of tinker off a little bit. But I think his intensity has played a lot. I don't think he's done a lot great from a technique standpoint. But I'm talking about the intensity of getting to the ball. That's the one I've seen. Ford did some good things, but nobody flashes to me on defensive line. There's not one guy that stands out to me that say, better watch out for that dude. Better watch out for that cat. What are your takes on that, V12?
Right. I mean, our defensive line is lackluster. We have the names, but we don't have the play. And that's concerning to me. We have all these big names, big time recruits, and they're not creating havoc on the opposing offense. And that's concerning. Guys, let's take a look at the sacks that we have. If it wasn't for the game that we had last week, we basically would have, no sacks. So no one is making a name for themselves, and we're not getting off blocks, and we're not making tackles. And that's why our safeties are making they're getting to the second and third levels because our defensive line is non-existent. And that's an issue. So they have to be able to make their presence felt. And along with the names and the recruits and the stars behind their name, they have to produce on the football field.
Definitely. Balin, talk to us. We got to talk a little faster because we're running out.
Here's the issue. The leading tackle on our defense is Bubba Bolden. that means there's too many people getting into the secondary, and that's not okay. That means our defensive line is getting punched in the mouth up front. They're creating holes, and those guys are hitting the second level. And as we just talked about, our linebacker play isn't that strong. So when they're hitting that third level with the safeties, we better be thankful that a USC commit just came in our laps 2 years ago and said, "Hey, I'm going to be the starting safety here, or we're going to be in some even more serious trouble." So Bubba Bolden leads the tackles this year, and he is our safety, our free safety at that. So that is a big concern. Here's another issue, and I'm going to go to V12's point. Without last week, we basically have no sacks in the year. Guys, we celebrated like we won the dang national title after 3 sacks last week. And if you watched every one of those sacks, those guys are pumping their fists like they're going to get an Instagram post and going to post it while Central Connecticut's right behind them. Like, that's an issue when we're getting hyped because we're beating on middle schoolers. Like, where is that against Appalachian State? Where is that against Alabama? That's your time to put yourself on the map so you can get drafted or at least be talked about. What about Michigan State, who's known for their big offensive line? You could have done something there that says, hey, we're real. No. The issue is we're getting bullied up front. We have all these names that think they're coming back because they're saving our defense, and we're going to win an ACC Coastal this year, boys. And they're getting punked around by these schools, and then they flash their chest when they sack against Central Connecticut, who we've never heard of. So, yeah, that's a big issue when our safeties are the leading tacklers. That means our D-line is absolutely inconsistent and irrelevant right now, and that's an issue.
Definitely being said, man. A lot being said. Hurricane Millie, what's up with you, dog? Back in the building. I didn't want to bring this up because I didn't want to go down that rabbit hole, dog. But since you did, you're right. Central Connecticut did have 3 sacks. We're gonna talk about that if we get to it in the thing. But they got you, dog. Ease up, killer. Ease up, Brad Ron. Everything Chris, my man. Everything Chris. All right. But here's the deal. Bubba was I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I thought he was the leading tackler last year. So again, that's a schematic thing, or that's another problem. That's it. I can't go into it too long. We have 13 minutes out. Here's my question. Keys to defense tonight in order to win this deal. Go V12, just bullet points.
Turnovers, and sacks. We need to create plays. So we need turnovers, we need interceptions, and we need sacks. Bottom line. And tackling, of course, we need tackling.
As a quarterback, the one thing I hated is pressure. We need pressure, which is going to force turnovers if they throw the ball a lot, and that's what we're expecting tonight. If we do not have at least 2 to 3 turnovers, and we're talking about picks, not fumbles. If we don't have 2 to 3 interceptions tonight, we have a great chance of losing this football game, and that's sad to say. So we need pressure on the quarterback. We need turnovers. But most importantly, we need 3 and outs, regardless of what that looks like. And the defense needs to hold them to under 250 yards passing. We do that, it's a blowout.
All right, real quick, my points are, I said this on another show, and I'm going to say it again tonight. If the quarterback plays under duress tonight, we have a great chance of winning this game. Just that simple, right? If you play that way, you're definitely going to turn the ball over, right? Those things result in the turnovers. He cannot sit back there comfortably, right? Also, we have to keep him. I don't think he's the greatest at running. I may be wrong, but he can keep the play alive. I guarantee there's no way in the world you're throwing 430 yards just sitting right in the pocket, throwing the ball on schedule. So, but we got to be able to do that. Defensively, especially when we run our twist, can we not twist Nestor to keep the defensive contained to the field? I mean, I like Nestor, but he ain't running that fast, guys. Come on. Let's be real. And that's right there when you have to understand what you're dealing with versus what you're going against. All right. Also, my last question is, and answer this, I brought up James Williams a while back in regards to playing safety. And I said, I like James Williams, but there's one box he has not checked for me. Can he play man coverage?
Covered in space.
I'm not saying he can. I'm not saying he can. Based on his highlight film, I have not seen it. I do not go to practices. I want to see it on the film. Tonight, if he plays and plays significant time, we're going to find out, because a team that throws the ball as well as this, they're going to always manipulate the defense to find out who the fish is. And when we say the fish, meaning who is the weak guy, they're going to do that through motion. It may not be in the first quarter, may not be in the second quarter, but definitely by the third quarter, and they start rewinding the data and running the stats and who's doing what, and the guys charting the plays, they're going to find out who that guy is. So I wish him nothing but the best. This is my king, so I want him the best, but I want this question answered. That's all I want to say. Let me just say this right quick in regards to this. The score line right now, so I can just put it out there. Predicted score is 35.8 to 31. So basically 36-31. All right. The line is 3.5 points tonight in UVA's favor. All right. 3.5 in UVA's favor, guys. We almost 10 minutes out. Let me ask you guys a quick question. I put in the chat, and I can't tell me. I don't know what the percentage is. I had to cut that screen off. Somebody put in the percentage, what it is on the poll I have running right now. But what is the threshold of points of Manny being fired tonight, if you think so, through the pressure? And say he loses the game, but he loses by 3. Does he keep his job? Does he not? If he loses by 24, is he out by midnight? What do you guys think? What is that threshold tonight so far in score?
Yeah, tough loss. A tough loss. I think he retains his job. Anything other than anything more than 14 points, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a lot of calling for it, and he may not make it through the season. It's a tough loss. If we compete well and we go down to a heartbreaker, I think he can say, "Hey, you know," and the fan base can see we came out, we played, and it was just a heartbreaker. But at the end of the day, if we don't show up, if we get down, and we're not able to bounce back, and it's a blowout, I think it may be lights out for Manny.
Balin, talk to us real quick. So get prediction.
Yeah, I don't like the firing in the midseason, but I'll tell you what. Here's a couple things to our favor. One, if we get blown out, he's out of there. I think he'll be fired by tomorrow morning, which the best case scenario, we have a bye week going into North Carolina that gives us 2 weeks to prepare for someone else to step in and take over this football program, regardless of who it is. It's probably going to be someone on staff and take over just like they did with a coach a couple years ago. And his first game was against Duke, and we had that crazy lateral play on Halloween in his first victory, but they still fired him midway through the season. You know, I think that's the best case scenario if we are going to go that route to fire him, and that's only going to be happening if we lose. But here's the problem we're having right now, guys. We're discussing the fact that we might lose to Virginia. Miami, why is that even a conversation? Like, do you think Florida's worried about Vanderbilt? Do you think Florida's worried about, you know, whoever, another SEC opponent, like, you know, Mississippi State? You know, like, no, they're expected to win those football games. I'm tired of, when's that stigma of Miami going to say, we have, 19 players coming back. We're supposed to win this game by 38. We're supposed to put their coach on the chopping block. Like, why is I hate the fact that
let me tell you why.
Balin, real quick. That is why people want his job.
It's sad,
that is exactly. I know, but that is why people want his job.
But it's just more apparent as we keep talking about this crap, and I hate.
I know, but the thing is, when you came out with this "look who we lost to" thing,
it is true. It is true.
You were right.
Back by that. But I hate the fact that we're talking about this, man. Like, okay, Alabama, I'm going to be honest with you. We're losing Alabama. I don't care who you are. I don't know what you betted on, but you're losing Alabama. Now, Michigan State, we could have won that football game, but there's still quality. But the fact that we're even talking about Virginia right now, and that's a conversation, is what scares me, and it's sad to even say that. Like, this game is supposed to be over by halftime. Yeah, we're the underdogs.
It should scare you. Let me tell you why. It should scare you. Bro. Because we are not competing on any level, and that's
did you get the update, guys? Y'all get the update on ESPN? D'Eriq King is out for tonight, so it's just Tyler Van Dyke.
There we go.
And Matoka, baby. And Matoka, yes, sir.
Oh, Matoka, yeah, you might as well give him a clipboard. But yeah, hey, if TBD goes down, we run Wildcat, baby. I don't care what you do. All
right, listen, I got to cut y'all off. We fought 6 minutes out. I want to get off. We got 323 in the chat. I appreciate you guys. Let's go ahead and get bold predictions right now. Balin, real quick, what's your prediction?
31-14 Miami.
V12.
38-34 Miami.
Whoa. Dude, I can't have another I can't, dude. I can't. I would be this would be terrible, guys. If we're a shootout with freaking Virginia, excuse my language.
Whoa. It's gonna be a shootout.
Guys, Hard Rock Stadium, 7:30 p.m. on ESPN. It's gonna be electric with 3 fans. Hey, we might as well put out the dang fake fans that they had last year with the COVID situation. Act like we have some fans in the stands so they can get some delay of games or something, man. This is embarrassing.
37-34, Miami Boyd Gallus for the win.
Hey,
37-34, Boyd Gallus for the win.
I'm answering your guys' question right now again. Hey, if we win by 3, he's fired.
How's he fired if we win by 3? And you just said if he lose by 3, he got his job.
Bro, it's just supposed to be a blowout, dude. Like, it's Virginia.
Bro, it's not going to be a blowout. Vegas don't have it 4.5 for a reason.
If Wake Forest can beat them by what, 34? I mean, come on, man.
Listen, I'm saying 37-34. I hope I lose. I'm worried about the defensive side of it schematically with Bronco Mendenhall versus Diaz. That's why I think it's like that.
Absolutely.
We underdogs in this game, baby.
He's a good coach. Bronco love to throw that rock. And them crossing routes, typically kill Miami. So we're gonna see.
We're gonna do it. All right, here we go. Real quick.
14.
Here we go, real quick. Hey, 4 minutes left, guys. I appreciate everybody. We got 317 in the chat right now. Before you log off, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, because we are coming back live immediately after the game. It's already up on the YouTube channel. Hit the bell on there so it'll remind you, man. Trust me, man. We trying to get to 20K. You see it? Where am I pointing at? You see it right here. 20,000 subscribers by 2022. I appreciate you. Big shout out to my sponsor, Mr. Alex Tabio, for the night, man, from Certified Home Loans. Y'all hit him up. Anything you got to do. Description is right under the V12. Hit him up with the description right there. He's right up underneath my cash out. 305-205-1697. Anything you need in regards to home loans. Guys, I see y'all in about 3.5, 4 hours. Don't worry about that time. I think I got up today, 11:55 p.m. Whenever the game is over, we coming back on 10 minutes. I want to hear what you got to say. We're going to open up the phone line and get it in. I know them boys got bedtime, so they be sleepy. Not coach, because I'm a king till I die.
We're going to see. I'm up.
All right, I appreciate y'all, boys.
All right, y'all.
Back at it, man. Hey, for all y'all out there, big shout out to Solo D and everybody else in the building. Thank you for that. Let me give you y'all love for those who don't. My bad. I got trigger happy because 2 of the fingers turned to trigger fingers. Oh, my bad. I got busy. So anyway, with all that being said, man, I appreciate you guys. We going out on Solo D. It's some Kane gang. We'll holler at y'all. See y'all in a couple hours. Be right back. Hit the button. Hit the notification bell. Peace.
The whole country watching you tonight.
Kane gang, 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 Kane gang. You see him in orange and green? That's Kane gang. You ready for Storm 18? That's Kane gang. Kane gang, 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 Kane gang. You see him in orange and green? That's Kane gang. You ready for Storm 18? That's Kane gang. Rep since a juvenile, I be where they throwing up using crowds. You know how that school get down, not taking no L's, we ain't losing now. Don't get it confused right now, I represent making these music sounds. They play me when they study in their dorm room, request me an Uber now. I be screaming Kane gang, across the world they be screaming out the same thing. We first to arrive and last to leave, we feeling a sense of capacity. You know I won't change while you asking me, be throwing this youth to the casket deep. Be all on the field like Sebastian B. Rockin' Kane's well, I'm a fashion freak. Look, I be staying live on pipe down. Ass down life, it's a lifestyle. Ain't like the other schools, don't confuse us. We the only ones that really throw to you up. But Kane's fam turned up where you find me. Hit hard like I seen it go to Shanti. Try to reach a man D, they remind me that them Kane's right back in they prime. Screaming out, Kane gang, Kane gang, Kane gang, Kane gang, Kane gang, Kane gang, Kane gang. You see him in orange and green? That's Kane gang. You ready for Storm 18? That's Kane gang. Kane gang, 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 Kane gang. You see him in orange and green? That's Kane gang. You ready for Storm 18? That's Kane gang. That's Kane gang. That's Kane gang.
So low, so low, so low, deep. So low, so low, so low, deep.
CWA. Kane gang.